This puts you in the best situation to attack pitches and be ready and be on time and know what's coming. And that hunt is going to impact your success more than any swing change.
Level. This is why.
Guys, there's really two major aspects of hitting. Now, we've covered the mechanics side just a couple days ago, talking about Teacher Man. And obviously, you could break hitting down into smaller and smaller segments of different aspects. But really, the two biggest ones to me, and the two most important, are your swing mechanics. And secondly, your approach at the plate. What you're thinking when you step in the box. I've done some videos about this on the past, but I wanted to talk about it in a little bit different way today. And it's something that I call the hunt. Now, when you go out hunting, if any of you out there are hunters, you're using different weapons. You're approaching the animal in different ways based on how that animal maybe can sense prey or predators. And you're using different bait. You're using all different techniques depending on the animal. You're using a different weapon based on the animal. There's so many ways you can look at it. I call this the hunt because the same is true when you step into a box versus a certain pitcher in a certain situation. So we're going to get right into it, guys. I call this the hunt, okay? This is how every hitter at home should be thinking when they're in the batter's box, or certainly when they're on the on-deck circle. They need to be going over all of these things, okay? So first off, we're going to talk about the hunt and what that means. Now, your hunt is going to be based on two things. The pitcher and the situation. Okay, guys, so the pitcher you're facing, what he's got in his repertoire, what kind of velo he's got, what kind of angle is he throwing from, that's going to influence how you're just going into this hunt. And two, the situation. Are you walking up with nobody on base, leading off the inning? Are you coming up with bases loaded, no outs? Are you coming up with runner on second or second and third, one out with the base open? All these different situations, one, are going to be different. Pitchers are going to attack you in a different way. And you also, as a hitter, should have a different objective based on these situations. So these two things are going to have the biggest impact on when you step in the box, what you should be trying to do. And then here's an example, guys. An example could be this. You come up to the plate with nobody on base. You're leading off the inning. Well, the pitcher doesn't just want to walk a guy and all of a sudden has a runner, especially the leadoff runner, right? We all know the leadoff runner reaches base. He's got a high chance of scoring. So the pitcher is probably going to come after you with a lot of fastballs. Right, I was a leadoff hitter. I was not a big power guy. They didn't want me on base. They didn't want me to kind of put pressure on the defense by stealing bases. They didn't want me scoring on a double in the gap. So they're going to attack me with fastballs. The same is usually true for most guys. Now, if you're Mike Trout, if you're Aaron Judge, if you're Juan Soto, you're probably not going to be getting a lot of fastballs in any count. But for those of you out there in high school, that's the situation. So you need to walk into it knowing, okay, what's this guy's fastball do? Where is he typically throwing it? And where am I going to be looking for my hit, the pitch I'm hunting? So if I'm hunting fastball in that situation like I should be, what part of the zone, everything like that. Scenario number two, you come up with no outs, runners on second and third. Now there's a base open at first. That pitcher, really what he wants to get to is a double play situation. Now, they're not just going to walk you intentionally, again, unless you're an Aaron Judge or Mike Trout or, again, a really, really good known hitter. You're probably going to get a lot of this, off changeup, slider, curveball. They're going to try to get you out front. Weak contact, right? They're not going to challenge you with a fastball in that situation. They're not going to give you a pitch that everybody wants. They're going to try to get you to miss-hit a ball. Ground it to third. They're going to probably have the infield in, depending on what time of the game. They want weak contact, weak fly ball into the outfield that you can't tag up, runner can't tag up on. But because you know that, you need to be very selective at the plate. You probably need to be sitting off speed, but you got to know they're not going to just throw you hangers. They're trying to pitch around you, meaning if we're going to throw them pitchers pitches, if we're lucky to get strikes, we're fine with that. But if they end up being balls and we walk them, now we got bases loaded, we got to force out at every base. All right, two different situations. where your approach at the plate should be totally different, understanding what that pitcher's trying to do. And that's not even taking into account what's this pitcher got, right? What angle is he throwing from? How's he going to attack me based on the different variables and pitches and everything that he's got? So that's what's going to make up your hunt. Now, your hunt should be based off, okay, if this is the strike zone, what quadrant of the zone am I trying to hunt in? And you guys have seen in my plate video that, we can put a link into in the description to that video that goes over approach in a little bit different way. This is more in a philosophical sense. You're hunting a part of that zone. Now, typically what I did as a hitter is I either hunted outer half or inner half. So this side, right? Now, what if you're facing a sinker guy? You're facing a sinker guy. You don't want to be ready to hit something that starts in that bottom half of the zone, because that means it's gonna sink out of the strike zone. It's gonna start right here or right here, and it's gonna, depending on where he's throwing from, it's either gonna go here or here. If he's a lefty or a righty. So with the sinker guy, we're looking maybe you're looking inner half and up. So you're looking right here and here. Okay? You have to be selective, guys. What a lot of hitters, what they get wrong is they're so much more talented in high school. They don't really have to have this. Again, this isn't even a very cerebral approach. I mean, I was in big league camp with Joey Votto when he went over kind of what his approach was, and every guy in the room after about 10 minutes was like, it was like you were in an AP calculus class or a high level physics class in college. I mean, you were just sitting there like, what is he even talking about? He had a lot of success like that. Most guys won't. So this isn't even that much in depth, guys, but this has to be your approach when you get to college. Because the stuff, as you guys have seen in my recent videos and our interview with Zeke Pinkham yesterday, that jump from high school to college is such a big gap that if you're not thinking like this at the plate, you're going to be so exploitable it's not even funny. Certainly, if you're a high school player out there and you start to think like this, you will see your numbers go up dramatically. Because now you're thinking way ahead of the game. This is not 95% of high school players don't even. If I talk to them about this, they'd be like, "What are you even talking about?" I just go up there and look for a good pitch to hit. I promise you guys, if that's your approach, you're missing out on slugging percentage, batting average, on base percentage, coming up clutch in big moments. And again, part of this is you have to have someone around you that can teach you kind of what pitchers are trying to do in different situations. When you're a 14-year-old in high school and you don't have a dad like I did who was a general manager of a major league team, you didn't know what to think when you came up with no outs and runners on second and third. You didn't know, okay, well, that's, he's got a base open now, so he really doesn't need to attack you because worst case scenario, he walks you and now he's got to force out at every bag. They get a ground ball, they can maybe give up one run, but then they can get out of the inning without giving up any more. Right? That's the advanced way of thinking in this game that's not being taught anymore at the high school level. So I'm hoping that this will help. So you're looking for a certain area of the zone and you're looking for a pitch. Now that pitch that you're going to hunt is going to be mostly based off, okay, what have I seen this guy do? Again, if you're leading off an inning, my job as leadoff hitter was always, hey, see as many pitches as I can. I want to, if I get a meatball or a pitch I'm looking for, I'm hammering it. I got to try to get on base. That's objective number one. But objective number two is if I can have a 7 or an 8 pitch at bat, and this guy shows me everything he's got, I can go into the dugout, report back to my team, and what the stuff looks like, how it's moving, what the best pitch is, everything like that. Once you know what a guy has and what his typical routine is, guys will fall into a pattern. So again, I've told you guys this in the past. If you're in the dugout, please hang out with your friends after the game. Talk about things going on at school after the game. When you're in the dugout in the game, pay attention to what that pitcher's doing. Especially in high school, guys. Those guys are going to fall into huge patterns. 0-2, he goes to that slider every time. 0-0, he's always throwing a fastball. 1-1, he's always throwing off speed. Things like that give you a massive advantage if you're actually paying attention. All right? Now, we're talking pitch type we're hunting, zone we're hunting, and then again, what's the situation? All right, so and then again, remember who you are as a player. So who are you? What's your role? What's your role as a player? Meaning, I'm not the big power guy, right? I come up with bases loaded, no outs. I'm trying to drive the ball. I'm not swinging out of my shoes and swinging and missing at a meatball that I could have hit for a double in the gap or a triple in the gap or a single that scores 2. Remember this, guys. Even if you are that big power guy, there's a reason Freddie Freeman's considered one of the best hitters in the major leagues. It's because he's not afraid to go up there with bases loaded or runners at second and third and get a base hit single for 2 RBIs. I know RBIs, no one cares about them anymore, but runs batted in or runs across the plate, and the more runs you score in a game, you have a higher chance of winning it, right? So they are kind of important, even if some people don't believe it. And you want to be a guy on your team that has a lot of RBIs. That's just the reality. And if you're going up there now, I promise you're going up there now, and you think, oh, bases loaded, I'm hitting a bomb, baby, and then you swing through 2 meatballs because you're just getting too big, and now you're down 0-2 and you strike out. Maybe if you had just kind of calmed it down a little bit and barreled one, you still would have hit a double, still would have hit a triple. Worst case scenario, you hit a single and you get 2 RBIs, and now your team's got a 2-run lead, or you tie the game. Baseball is a team game, guys. And the players that are willing to have team at-bats, especially at the college level, you will have more leeway when the struggles come your way. If you're a guy that's selfish, you don't know how to have a team at-bat, when there's a runner on third and less than 2 outs, you're swinging for the fences instead of just trying to put a ball deep in the outfield, or just hitting one to the normal, standard depth in the outfield, or you're not infield's back with runner on second, runner on third, less than 2 outs, and you're not willing to just put the ball on the ground up the middle and bring the run in. Those guys, when the struggles happen, hey, get this guy out of here. He's selfish, he's not a team player, and he's not even performing. Let's bring this guy in. When you're the guy that runners on first and second, no outs, and you can run, this is what I did all the time. I'm bunting for a hit. I'm going for a hit. If I get thrown out, I just move runners to second and third, even though it was about a 900 batting average when I tried to bunt for a hit. So why would I not do that to get the bases loaded? In worst case scenario, I got a guy I trust coming up behind me with 2 runners in scoring position and less than 2 outs, so all he's got to do is put the ball in play, essentially. Your role, more than anything else, is to be a team player, okay? Be a team player, guys. You may think that's not the path to the big leagues. I can promise you that's totally wrong. Unless you are a superstar in the big leagues, this is the standard you're held to. Do you get the job done when it's a team at bat? With the runner on second and no outs, are you able to, you're still trying to get a base hit, but are you able to hit it to the right side so that even if it's an out, if it's a ground ball, he advances. Fly ball deep to right, he advances to third. Can you move runners? Can you get the run in from third? Can you take the extra base because you're hustling down the line and the outfielder bobbles it? Instead of being the guy that kind of, bat flips and jogs to first base, because that's what guys do now in singles, I guess. And then the guy bobbles it, and you look like an idiot at first base because you were showboating. Instead of busting it down the line, keeping your eyes on the outfielder, and as soon as you see that bobble, you're gone. He can't get you. That's what I see in travel ball now. Guys hit a base hit single, they're flipping the bat, they're jogging to first base, and then a guy bobbles it, and they're stuck at first base. Or you pimp a ball in the gap that you think's a home run, and because you're pimping it, hits off the wall, guy throws in the second, you got a single. Congrats. You just pimped a really big single. Okay? Remember, guys, when you're in the hunt, you got to stay in the hunt. Okay? So with 2 strikes, we got to cover this whole zone. We got to cover the whole zone. Your umpire's probably going to give a little bit off the plate. He's not going to be perfect. That's something you got to establish in that first at bat as well. Hey, is that as far off as you'll? Hey, is that as far out as you'll go? Hey, is that the corner? Is that top of the zone? Is that bottom of the zone? Ask questions. And when he says yes, now he knows. I just told him that's bottom, so this next one comes lower. We got to call it a ball. Helps you out. You know where the zone is. You know the adjustments you have to make. With 2 strikes, we have to cover this whole zone. We're staying back. We're, not saying you're standing on your back leg, meaning you're not making a move to swing until you are certain what kind of pitch it is. Meaning, I'm not trying to be on time with a fastball. I'm going to sit in between speeds, Fastball, I'm going to fight off. Maybe I'll get a good read on it and put a good swing on it. But I'm going to fight the fastball, and I'm going to let that pitch travel. So if it does turn into a slider, as soon as I pick up that slider spin, I'm not out here, and I'm done. Right? We got to stay in the hunt or stay in the fight. You need to have pride in not striking out. All right, guys? This is a philosophical way to think about your at-bats. When you're in the on-deck circle, watch the game, right? See the field. What's the situation? Where are the base runners? What's the score of the game? We're down by 7 we're down by 7 if you're in high school in the 6th inning. Yeah, probably shouldn't be swinging at the first pitch. We need base runners. You make a first pitch out, you look like a moron. Right? We need base runners. We need to have 6 guys cross the plate. Maybe I should make the guy throw a strike before I swing at the first one I see and get out. Because a lot of times what you'll find is that guys throw his first pitch strike and then they go 3 balls in a row and now you're in a juicy count to do something. Understand the situation, guys. Think logically about how many base runners you're at, what time of the game, what inning of the game are we in, what's the score, what pitcher do I have on the mound, what's he got, what's the scouting report, what's his velocity. Do I need to be telling myself, does he have a lot of velocity? I need to be telling myself, be early, be early, be early, be early. Or is he kind of, run-of-the-mill high school pitcher where, okay, I got to be on time, but I can't get ready too early because the velo's not there. These 2 things, more than anything else, are going to impact this. And that hunt is going to impact your success more than any swing change. Your swing makes you more adaptable to different pitches and different holes in your swing, okay? Everyone's going to have certain issues in their swing. Everyone's going to have certain parts of the zone they're really good at attacking because of their swing. This puts you in the best situation to attack pitches and be ready and be on time and know what's coming. And the more you pay attention to the game, you'll pick up on this stuff. Okay, hey, there's runners. It's runners on first and second, no outs. Let me see how this guy pitches. Let me see what he throws in first pitch here. A lot of times, runners in scoring position, they're going to start you off with an off-speed pitch. They're not trying to give you that first pitch fastball that every hitter thinks they're getting and juice one. Right? They're going to try to steal a strike, pitch one, a little get-over slider, get-over curveball, get-over changeup that they can throw for a strike, and maybe if you do swing at it, you're out front and they get a double play. Let me know what you think about this, guys. I think this is just another interesting way to think about hitting. And for you guys at home going to college, that are in college or in high school, this will give you a huge leg up over most of your competition, especially if your coaches never talk about this. I promise you, this spring, guys, use this and tell me how you do. Use it and tell me how you do. I can promise you, you're not going to do worse. Because most of you guys out there are thinking, I'm just looking for a good pitch. You're looking for nothing then. You're not being exact in what your approach is. Some guys, the elite guys, may get away with that in high school. They're not going to get away with that in college. Okay? Let me know what you think, guys. Put some comments in. Let me know kind of maybe what your approach is, things you think differently, maybe some things I'm missing here. Again, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. Appreciate all the support on the video. Again, if you're looking for help in recruiting, scan the QR code, fill out the form. We'll meet with you and talk. Okay? Have a good rest of your day, guys, and we'll be back with another video tomorrow.